Embarrassment is one hell of an emotion. A flood of thoughts rushing through your mind at the speed measurable in nanoseconds, creating a swell of burning and suffocating sensations deep within your chest. Guilt, shame, self-consciousness, all vying for your attention at once. A painful reminder that you did something wrong. We learn it young, whether naturally ourselves as a result of doing something we know we weren't supposed to be doing, like being told not to throw the ball in the house and accidentally breaking a window because of it, or through parental discipline, because a temper tantrum is not how we are supposed to behave in public, a lesson to be learned, taught in a manner we will never forget. As we grow, we do what we can to avoid that feeling. Unfortunately, that momentary alienation finds us, whether through an easily avoidable faux pas, or reminiscing on past failures that we would much rather forget, or not upholding a promise made to another, or perhaps even to ourselves. As despised a feeling as embarrassment is, it is one necessary for growth. I am overweight. Throughout my childhood and teenage years, I was a chubby person. Now, athletics helped maintain a modest physique. I wasn't cut or ripped by any standard, but it helped. Then I went to college. The athletics stopped, and I let my diet restrictions fall by the wayside. And that fabled freshman 15 turned into a freshman 40. I entered college 215 pounds. After my first year, I weighed 255. By the time I graduated, I was at 275. And as the years kept going, it kept creeping. 285, 300 pounds, to my max 330 pounds. Now, I felt and feel fine in terms of energy and movement, but I won't go to the beach or go swimming without my shirt, except that one time I went on a cruise for a destination wedding and I participated in a belly flop contest. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Alcohol was involved. My years in college sort of warped my mindset that I could pretty much do whatever and feel fine. Sure, I could gain weight, but really didn't lack the energy. Didn't think I'd ever play sports again, so, why stay in shape? Well, that mindset led to the most embarrassing moment of my life. My girlfriend Allison and I went to Vermont for her birthday. We were looking forward to a very nice long weekend, away from work, responsibilities, and just enjoying the company of one another. We explored the city of Burlington, enjoyed a gondola ride on Mount Mansfield, explored museums and art galleries, and ate a lot of good food. While there, we discovered the Champlain Valley Fair. We love fairs, trying various food vendors, seeing and petting all the animals that we can or she can. Enjoying shows like dog shows and pig races and circuses, midway games, winning plushies. Towards the end of the night, we decided we want to ride a few rides. So we purchased our tickets and head off. Allison sees one she wants to try. It's called the Freak Out. Pendulum style ride. Goes like that. Except the seats are hanging, you get over the shoulder harnesses, and the seats spin as it rocks back and forth. Now, after waiting in line for about 10 minutes, we finally get up. It's our turn to get on. We jump up into our seats. It's sort of tight around my hips, but I nestle in nicely. Grab the shoulder harness, pull it over my chest. I think it's secure. Looks secure. Attendant starts walking around doing a safety check. Gets to me, pushes on it, and then pushes again. Then I see him look up. Above my harness is a red glowing light. He gives it one more push and goes, nope, and just continues walking. So he's checking everybody else's harnesses. Once he's finished with everyone, he comes back to me. And I say to him, just give it all you got. And he does. He does it again. And again for the third time. Finally, he looks to the attendant and gives one of these. All of a sudden, we hear a hiss and all the harnesses release. And I'm asked to get off the ride. Allison sees this and she goes to get off the ride too, but I encourage her to stay on. So no, you enjoy the ride. I'll grab your purse and I'll wait for you outside. So she stays on. Everybody resecures their harnesses, and I walk down the couple of steps off the platform. Now I'm joking with everybody because I can see people staring at me. I'm joking, oh, I've been thrown at a buffet, better than this sort of thing. I mean, most of my stand-up is a lot of self-deprecating humor, and I am fine being the butt of a joke. But this time it was different. As the ride started, I was following with my eyes, and then it just hit me. Just a big wave of shame. I did all I could to keep my eyes staring straight up, so as not to let people see the tears starting to fall. I stared up even after the ride stopped, and only came back to reality after everybody started getting off the ride. I met up with Allison, kissed her on the forehead, gave her her purse back, and we started walking. I silently made my way through the crowd. Then I felt her arm loop around mine, and immediately my brain went into a panic mode and just thought one thing: escape. Anywhere but here. So I made off through the crowd, Allison following close behind. I ended up in a small little smoker's clearing. Stood there trying to catch my breath a little bit, trying not to cry. But I couldn't help it. I broke down. I cried into Allison's arms and shoulders for about a good solid 5 minutes. I was embarrassed. It was the most embarrassing feeling I've ever had. And I felt embarrassed not just for myself, but also secondhand embarrassment for Allison. The first thought in my mind after I collected myself, and the pervading thought, really, the pervading thought throughout the whole thing was, Allison doesn't deserve that. She doesn't deserve to feel the judgment and the embarrassment of having a boyfriend too fat to ride carnival rides with her. All those strangers' eyes staring at me, I felt were staring at her more, judging. I know that's not the case. I'm never going to see any of those people ever again. No one should really care what they think. But in the moment I did. I don't tell the story to garner pity or sympathy. Far from it. This happened relatively recently, but I've had a good long time to sit, reflect, and bring myself into a good headspace about the whole thing. Even though it's not the worst thing that could ever happen, it was still a jarring experience. Now, I discussed with Allison on whether or not I should tell this story, and she was at first hesitant, and rightfully so, because she got to see how I reacted that night. And she also saw how upset I was the first time I told this story to my parents. And it's not my intention to upset her, myself, or anybody. My intention is to be as open and honest and transparent with myself, my friends, family, and now with an audience that has chosen to stick with me through this. But telling the story is pertinent to the next few steps that I have to take. I'm self-conscious about how I look. Again, while I feel fine physically most of the time, I can't say the same whenever I look in the mirror at myself. And it's not the superficial, I look ugly or I'm not attractive or my body is a grotesque monstrosity, even if I do joke about it. Not healthy, I do joke about it. I'm sexy, and I'm gorgeous. I know that. But whenever I look at myself in the mirror, I just see the neglect. Neglecting implementing proper diet choices. Guzzling cases of soda over the years just because I like the taste, and no one could stop me. Overindulging on portion sizes because I never want to feel hungry. Struggling to finish every last morsel off my plate because I don't like waste. Neglecting the physical fitness that I should have maintained. Neglecting it to the point where I'm exhausted walking up a flight of steps. To the point where my Achilles tendon is sore every day. No amount of stretching can ease the tension. To the point where I struggle to put my hair up. I used to be able to do a full split. I can get close, but not where I used to be. So it's time to change that. Confronting my greatest insecurity is the first step in improving my overall well-being. This is who I am right now. I can't get back lost time, but I can do better. Live better. Be better. Next will be facing the adversary that I avoid, so as not to be reminded of how far I've drifted from my former self. Weight is measured with a number that is the collection of the consequences of poor decisions, the sediment of sedentary selections that sit silently in the subconscious, a number that weighs on the heart, mind, and body. But that number is not permanent. That number can be changed. That number will be changed. This is the first step in accountability and tracking progress. As you can see, we've begun at 314.4 pounds. I've already begun curbing my diet by cutting out soda and limiting my portions. I'm also going to be implementing at-home exercises to work on my physical fitness. And while my goals for this year include weight loss, it's not going to be the main focus of this channel. It's still going to be storytelling, creative fiction, or things like this. Hopefully some people can resonate or relate to this story. Maybe not in the exact circumstances, but in how something embarrassing can help us grow. Help us truly see the issues that we need to tackle and become better for it. Thank you all for watching. From my heart to yours, goodbye. See you on the next one.